Are you cool?
Can you hear the sound of the baby boy? Let the people shout, let the world rejoice. For today the King is born. He's the everlasting Son. Let the heavens sing, let the oceans roar, and all of creation the Lord adore. Life and joy to all He brings. Forever will His praises ring. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Can you hear the sound of the baby boy? All around the world lift up every voice, singing now in one accord. Worthy is the Lamb of God. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Can you hear the sound? Can you hear the sound of the newborn King? Can you hear the sound? Can you hear the sound of the angels sing? Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. All ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Can you hear the sound? Can you hear the sound of the newborn King? Can you hear the sound? Can you hear the sound of the angels sing?
Well, hello, folks. Good evening. Good evening. We decided to start with a song today. It's a beautiful song. It's a single, a Christmas single by Sarah Table. I would encourage you to please go on YouTube, have a listen. You can go on all the media platforms. You can also stream live, because when you download it, whatever proceeds come out of it part of it goes to charity as well. So what better thing to do than to download it? So while you're doing that, you're also feeding a child that is homeless, that doesn't want to be having food to eat if you don't. So God bless you so much. That's a beautiful song, Sarah Table. God bless you. Okay, so good evening. Let me welcome everyone that's listening via. Okay, there's an airplane. If you can hear it, it must be really down. It's so loud. Okay, so I want to welcome everyone who's listening via Global Word Network. That's via the radio. Those who are listening via Modern Ghana, Radio Box. I want to thank those who are listening and welcome as well. Say good evening to you. Those who are listening via YouTube, and then those who are listening via uh, Facebook Live, those who are joining us, please, if you've not shared, because normally I'll come on and tell you share before we go and go for the music break, but we started with our music. So please don't forget, share, 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 tell someone. Today we're going to be very crisp. A friend of mine in church would say, hello. She would say, we're going to be crisp today, very quick. So please share, tell someone. We're talking about exactly what the beginning of the song said. We're talking about Christmas today. Everything there is about Christmas. Well, not everything, but the little bits and bobs, tips here and there. In fact, before we go on, I want you to share with me. Have you put your Christmas tree up already? Have you already decorated it? Let me know. If you ask me, I'll say no. But I do know the shops that put theirs up like last month in November in the city. Everything is up. The Christmas lights were even on before the 1st of December. Have you put your Christmas tree up yet? Share that with us. Okay, so we're talking about Christmas today, and not yet. Okay, so those that I see on Facebook Live. I see my sister, a class prefect, I call her, Sister Messi Ahiaku. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share, 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 share. There's so many people that I don't see on right now, so please let them know. Yeah, we have started. I see Global Word Network. Hey, team, thank you so much for the backing. And yes, we're going to go on. She said, oh, Sister Messi said, oh, yes, decoration is on. Now that's what's up. Okay. Again, I just want to acknowledge those who are tuning via Global Word Network on the radio. We've got a few countries here that are on there. So we've got Germany, we've got people listening from the United States, we've got people listening from India, we've got people listening from the UK. I wish I could speak all these, languages so I can at least say hello in your. I think I need to learn. I will do that next time. I'll be saying it. So welcome to those who are listening via, again, Global Word Network from the UK. Oh, yeah. Queensland, from Ghana, those who are listening from Italy, those who are listening from Paraguay, those who are listening from Spain, and those who are listening from Canada. You are welcome. Now, this is a fun fact, okay, about the month of December. It says December originally had 30 days according to the ancient Roman calendar. Mm-hmm. When the calendar was changed for the Julian calendar, December gained a day, making it the seventh and last month in the year with 31 days. So originally, during the ancient Roman times, December was only 30 days until it was changed to the Julian calendar, and then it gained 1 day, and December is now 31 days. It's just a fun fact. Okay, so let's go in. I've got with me today, before I bring our guest on for us to have a discussion. And today, like I said, it's just a fun discussion. So please engage, engage, engage with me. Share with me stories about. In fact, if there's anyone who's locked in right now, if you know the traditions, the Christmas traditions of Ghana, please share with us, because that was one of the things I was looking for online. So please go ahead. But while I'm waiting for someone to share that with me, I've got a few ones here before we have our guests come on. They say it's Christmas, and then they say it's Boxing Day in this country. I mean, that's how we celebrate it. So let me read this. In the UK, Christmas meal is usually eaten at lunchtime. This is just a little bit, or some of the traditions about the UK, right? When it comes to Christmas, it says on Christmas Day, it is normally roast turkey. We all know that if you don't like turkey during Christmas, but I think some people don't like it because they say it's too dry anyway. Roast vegetables and all the trimmings, which means vegetables like carrots, peas, stuffings, and sometimes bacon and sausages. Better be healthy. well, there's vegan ones out there. It's often served with cranberry sauce and bread sauce. Now, it says every family across the United Kingdom, that's again for the UK, this is their tradition. Every family across the UK watches the Queen's Christmas address, informally known as the Queen's speech. This was where I did my research from, the Telegraph. It says the first Christmas address was 200 of, well, we're not going to go into that one. So that's one of the traditions for the UK. The Queen gives a speech. Now, the one that I don't know if you, I know you've had Boxing Day, Boxing Day, Boxing Day if you live in the UK, but do you even know the story behind that Boxing Day? Now, stay with me and I'll tell you why. When your kids are asking you, you can tell them. Why do we celebrate Boxing Day? That's in the UK. Boxing Day is a British tradition which follows Christmas Day. So it's on the 26th, which is for us now, it's a holiday. But years ago when it began sometime in the 1800s when Christmas gifts were received by when Christmas gifts were received in a Christmas box. The following day, wealthier classes, that's the high class people, they would fill the boxes with gifts to give to the poor. Often, servants and staff from their home would traditionally be given Boxing Day off as a holiday. Alternatively, the box would be donated to a local church to help poorer people. Okay, so the feast, okay, and then it says the feast of Saint Stephen is now known as Boxing Day, thanks to the tradition of the tradesmen calling on everyone who had employed them in the previous year to collect a monetary gift placed in special Christmas boxes. You know what? When I came to this country, when they say Boxing Day, I always wondered, what do they mean by Boxing Day? And it's funny, but I heard stories where people say, oh, it's Boxing Day, so they box you. Literally, like literally box you. But now you know today, that's not the story behind it. It's nothing to do with physical, hitting or boxing someone, but it actually had to do with boxes where gifts came to people in high classes in boxes. And then the next day after Christmas, which was the 26th, they put gifts into it and give to their servants or they give to the poor. And that's why they call the 26th a Boxing Day. Okay. Okay. And Boxing Day. Okay. So that's one thing I think you've learned today. Now let's go on. This is another tradition that's observed in the Ukraine. I thought it was interesting. It's good sometimes to know, a little something, something. When you're having a chat, this is something that even while you sit around the table on this Christmas, you can be sharing with your family. You never know. When your kids are being told, write a story, how you celebrated your Christmas, blah, blah, blah. These are some of the little things they can write in their books. Because sometimes kids will come to you and go, oh, mom, the next day, January, when they go back to school, then their teachers are asking them to write stories about their Christmas holidays. They can say, this is a little something my mom or my dad told me. So let's go on. Some wonderful Christmas traditions. Now we'll start with the Ukraine. I just have four. I'll just stick with four so we don't take too much time. Now it says the Ukrainians, they have Christmas trees covered in spider webs. I was like, what? They've got Christmas trees covered in spider webs, and this is their tradition. The legend behind this is a poor widow once lived with her kids in a small hut and had no money to decorate her Christmas tree. But when her children woke up, the tree one day was covered in spider webs that glittered in gold and silver in the morning light. And this has been incorporated in their traditions till now. Like some people are really scared of spiders. So to wake up in the morning and find spider webs, but hey, that's their tradition in Ukraine. That's what they do. So if you ever get to Ukraine and you see that, don't think these people are weird. That's their tradition. Okay, now let's go to Sweden, okay? So Sweden, they put up a giant straw statue of a goat. Mm-hmm. A goat in the center of Gauss Castle Square on the December 1st. In Sweden, the Yule goat was supposed to help deliver presents. So, here we talk about the reindeer with the red nose. No, they don't use reindeers. They believe it's goats that deliver the gifts. So let's keep going. It says in Sweden, the Yule goat was supposed to help deliver presents. So sometimes Santa Claus would ride a goat instead of a sleigh. So in 1966, when the town of Galv wanted something over the top, that is Christmassy for the town square, a giant Yule goat was the great idea. So even up till today, when you go to Sweden, and you go to, if you ever step in Sweden, go to the Gulf Square and you find, especially during Christmas, a giant goat. And this is the story behind it, because they don't believe in that. They don't use the reindeers. They use goats to deliver Christmas gifts. Now let's keep going. Let's go to Austria. Well, in Austria, this is their Christmas tradition. They don't dress up in Santa clothes to distribute presents. You are more likely to find a beast-like demon. Okay. Creature that roams the city streets, frightening kids and punishing the bad ones. You know what? Let me pause here before I go on. It reminds me, if you ever been in Ghana or you were born in Ghana, I forgot to, somebody help me remember the names of these, during Christmas. They go around and they wear this scary outfit. And when you are bad, I don't know if you remember, if you've been bad, your parents will give you to that. What are they called again? I can't remember the name, but if you lived in Ghana, when you were young, please help me remember the names, because it looks like in Austria they do the same thing. So he says they frighten kids and what? Okay, so let me keep going. This is done in the first week of December, not even on the 25th. In Ghana, I think it's done closer, to Christmas time, but in Austria, it's done in the first week, and it says this is done in the first week of December in Austria. In Austrian tradition, Saint Nicholas rewards nice little boys and girls with Krampus. His while Krampus. So instead of saying Father Christmas in Austria, they say what they say Saint Nicholas, and then they say so the horrible things. Kakao to be Thank you very much. That's what we used to call it, cacao to be. Oh my God! You know what? It reminds me of a story. I don't know if I don't think my brother is on you right now. He's probably still awake. But when he listens later, we'll have a laugh about it. I remember one time my mom said he was bad, and then this cacao to be came. I remember very, very, very well. And then my mom gave him to that cacao to because he was a bad boy. That thing was so funny. I used to be very scared of them until one day one of them took their mask off, and he was a guy that lived just across, not across our street. Ghana, we don't do like street like that, but he was a next door neighbor. There was a compound house close to us, and I recognized him. And from that day, that's how the fright left. When I see Kaka Mutubi, I'm not scared anymore. But initially, when I was little, when I see Kaka Mutubi, I will run. I used to be so scared of them. Anyway, so again, we are back to Austria. Krampus and his evil, who is the evil one, is set to capture the naughtiest children and wicks them away in his sack. On St. Nicholas Day, a lot of men dress up as Krampus and set out frightening children with clattering chains and bells. So this one, I kind of know about it because it happens in Ghana. It's one of our traditions as well. The very last one, and then I'll bring on my guest and we'll go in, is Russia. And if I haven't, said any tradition, if you know of any traditions in another country, please go ahead and share with us. I just love sharing ideas. So in Russia, which is the last one I'm going to talk about now, this is their tradition. And please, if anyone knows about this mother I'm going to talk about, please share with us because, okay, so in Russia, they have the good old dude called Santa Claus. In Ghana, we have the Santa Claus too, to get us gifts. And Russians, they prefer the idea of babushka. Okay, and I knew I'd heard that word before. Babushka doing the rounds. Now, babushka in Russia, those are the grandmothers. That's what they call them in Russia, babushka. So on January, and guess what? This is one thing to alert that their Christmas is not in December. They actually celebrate it on January 7th. Mami Kata said Father Christmas. It's true. In Ghana, we call them Father Christmas. So on January 7th, which is in Russia, which, by the way, is the date they celebrate Christmas, old grannies, they play Santa. And okay, so this is why the old grannies, the babushkas in Russia, they are the ones that replace the Santas. It is based on a biblical story. And when I saw that, I thought, biblical story? I don't ever remember reading that in the Bible, but if anyone has, please go ahead and share with us. It says based on the biblical story of the woman who didn't give a gift to the baby Jesus. And I thought, woman, unless of course I'm being just, it would be really bad. I don't even want to use the word, but I thought it was wise men that gave gifts to Jesus. But anyway, Russian says it is based on the biblical story of the woman who did not give a gift to baby Jesus. So this tradition was built because Russians believe to repent. Mhm. The lady had to give gifts to the children. I hope you found this interesting and a bit informative as well. But if anyone knows of that story about the woman who did not give gifts to Jesus, because I know it was wise men who were to give gifts to Jesus, please share with us, educate us. Thank you. So, you know what? I'm just going to bring my guest on. And it's our own, very own, she needs no introduction, Laurentia Peku Frimpong. Hello, hello.
Hello. Good to see
Ah,
you.
good evening. I love your hat, your beret.
Thank you. It's a bit
So you know
cold.
what? I want us to just
Mm,
zoom straight in. 23
mm,
minutes gone.
mm,
Just do you want to share a little bit of traditional? Because I know you are in the US. Share a
mm.
little bit of tradition with us for your what's it called, your Christmas celebrations.
Okay. So I'll start by saying that Christmas season is one of the big holidays um, in the States, and it's a season where families come together to share food, to share memories, and also to share gifts. And so Christmas season is originally a religious holiday, and it's
Okay, I don't
on
even want
the
to go
Christian
there.
calendar on the 25th.
You know what? I don't even want to
No.
go there because I've heard people say, you know what, Christians should not be celebrating Christmas. Christmas is
Hmm.
not Christian in any way. But anyway, we're
Hmm.
not going down that route today. I really don't want
Hmm.
to go there. So please keep going.
Hmm. Okay. So it's uh it's on the Christian calendar to be on the 25th of December, and
Mm,
it's on this day that the Christmas celebration is held. And down here, it's come to become one of the cultural holidays, and is marked alongside three other well-known holidays such as Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and New Year's Eve. Sorry, these are four of the very popular, um, cultural holidays that we have down here, and it's really celebrated big. And I think that it really hasn't lost its main, objective or the reason behind Christmas. That is to celebrate the birth of Christ. And I know that
very
some
essential.
people would have, other opinion,
Mm,
but if we go down to the Bible and we look, in the book of Luke, it talks about how Christ was born and
yeah.
how, the wise men came because they were, directed, to come and see, baby Jesus, and they came down with gifts. So when
Mm,
we look into the whole celebration, we see that it's a season, or it's a time where love is shared in the form of gifts and in the form of sharing of food to both
yeah.
the rich and the poor. And it's a
Mm,
time where we get to show the affection and the love of Christ to many worldwide,
that's
to
true.
tell them that Christ came down to sacrifice his life so that we can all be one into the kingdom of God, so that we'll
Yeah.
not be lost. But not to say much more, I'll just go straight and talk about the traditions that we observe during this
Yeah.
season. And during this time, mostly most people start having their Christmas trees ready, just like you mentioned in other countries. They have
Yeah.
their trees ready right from December, and some also start as early as November, and they start preparing their gifts towards the big
Mm,
day to share amongst each other, either within the small nuclear family or amongst the extended family, and also amongst friends and loved ones. So during this season also, it's also believed that, just like you mentioned, Santa Claus goes
yeah.
round, in
Yeah.
his red attire, and his white hair and beard, he goes on his sleigh with the help of his reindeers to share, the love of gifts to all, to
Hmm.
all.
Yeah.
And also, when you go into the homes, you would find that almost everybody has stockings that
Oh yeah.
has gifts
Mm.
that is meant to be shared amongst the family. And within the stockings is filled with things like toys and candies, basically mostly for the children, for them to have time to unravel what their parents or their loved ones had to give to them on that
Mm.
fateful day.
Mm.
And also, when you go along the streets, you would find that there's a lot of lightnings, there's a
Yeah.
lot of decorations, there's a lot of trees,
Mm.
and also there's a lot of different kinds of ornaments to decorate, to, you know, portray the main beliefs within the season. So you'd find, of course, Santa Claus in there. You'd find the Christmas tree. You find the lights. You find the wreaths, and then you'd
Yeah.
also find, yeah, and you'd
Okay.
also find, gifts that are wrapped to show the purpose of giving. And also in some homes, you
Some
would
of them are
also
just empty
find,
boxes, sister.
some people having the theme of baby Jesus
Yeah.
in the manger
Oh
to tell
Lord.
us that the season is basically about our Lord Jesus, and
Mm.
and the fact that he was born, in
Definitely.
that
Definitely.
humble
Definitely.
beginning, and he came out and he walked the walk, and he stood out, and he fought, and he made sure that his ministry affected the lives of many, not just the lives of those that live within his time, but the lives,
Mm.
even till today, the lives of those of us that are existing now, and even for lives that are yet to be born. So
Yeah.
then we can
Well
see
said.
that Christmas is really a very important, part and parcel of every human life. And we definitely have to celebrate it and let the purpose for which, Christ came be
Mm.
shown to the world. And it's a time, I think that is also a time to also minister and let people know that, they're loved and they're being cared for by God. And for that reason, God sent his son to come and die for this purpose, and also to be born on that day, which is the 25th, that as Christians we believe and we
Well,
celebrate,
about to say something
to
about
let
that.
people know about the love of Christ.
Yeah. Okay. That's well said. That is well said. Personally, since last what's it called year, this is how you know what? I want us
Mm.
to again, like I'll say, let me just go back on here so I could see a few more people joined us. Mama respond page, she said, good evening. Good evening to you too. Ray Parker said, oh, well, I think it was a moment of, ooh, I didn't know that. Okay. Mama Messi said, oh, okay, I know. I now know. Mama Adra Bernie said, good evening. Good evening to you too, mommy. Mama Elizabeth, how, mommy? She said, oh, let me look up. She said, good evening, Mr. Lauren and everyone. Good evening to you too, Mama Elizabeth. Okay. Dana Cox said, check your day. Okay. Okay. No, thank you. Ray Parker said, Amasi. Huh? Oh, Amos. Yeah, that was another name we used to give to those horrible things. Lord, do you
Mm.
remember them? Yeah. Hi,
I
Ray
do.
Parker.
I
Thank you.
do.
Ray Parker said, he was the one that said the Kakamu to be. That is so
The
true.
masses.
Amos in my
Mm.
quiet. Oh, my joke. Yeah, that's true,
Alaji.
man. Ray Parker, that is so true. Thank you so much. I can see Carol. Hi, Carol. Thank you so much for joining us, and I can see Mama Kata also laughing over there. You know what? Personally, this is how I explain. If you ask me what is Christmas, and I want someone who's online as well. What does Christmas mean? Christmas mean to you? Just one line, or just one word? What does Christmas mean to you? But since last year, this is what I say. If someone asks me what is the meaning of Christmas, I tell them Christ is a must. Because unfortunately, the way the world is going now, they're pushing the Christ out of it, and it's like it's all about just gifts, gifts, buying more gifts, buying more gifts. Some people before even the end of December, which is another thing, just a point that we will mention, somewhere along the line. If you're not careful before the end of December, you start January and you are so broke. You spent all your money buying just gifts, gifts, gifts. And half the time, the gifts you even buy for people, by the time they unwrap it, is either they've either got one already. If you don't allow God to lead you, you're just going to waste your money. You know what? Let me even mention it now while we're still talking. If you've received your pay, which we all have, because the end of the month is coming, today is the first, please sit down and start calculating. Make sure you don't waste your money, because when December comes, January is like one of the longest months ever. So you better start saving from now so that you don't find yourself even before, some people, even before 25th. After they've been paid, they've already spent the money for November. Then you spend the one for December as well, even before the 25th. And so before the 1st of January, you're already broke. And oh my God, you don't want to be like that. Please be smart. Don't waste your money too much. Don't overbuy. We'll get there. I'll let my sister take care of that bit. Don't overbuy it. Sometimes you can buy the least of things. You can have things around you that you can use. Be creative. You don't have to go and buy the most expensive things for your kids or for your family. Half the time before next year, they don't even remember where you bought them anyway. So please, if you're using money, use it wisely. Anyway, so Christ is a must. Please don't forget. Don't let anyone, please come out of that place where Christmas has become all about gifts, gifts, gifts. No, Christmas is about Christ. And this brings me to this point, Laurentia. I know in America, do they still say? Because I remember when Trump came on, they used to say happy holidays, happy holidays. And I don't know if it's true, but I don't know if it's a fake news, that he installed that. He said if you want to say Merry Christmas to someone, you can say it, because he's a Christian. And he doesn't think they should take Christ out of Christmas and just make it happy holidays. So do you guys still say like happy holidays, or you are allowed to say Merry Christmas?
Well, I mostly hear on the networks, that they do say happy holidays, but
Wow,
it's also allowed to say Merry Christmas,
you
because
can still
on
say
the
Merry Christmas.
cards, yeah, on the cards that we do share, because it's one of the activities during Christmas that you can also share cards to express your thoughts to your loved ones, those who are close or those who are far. On those cards, you also see, the Christmas tree, and sometimes you see Merry Christmas, being expressed on the cards. So it's
Oh,
not just happy the holiday, um, you know, saying, but it's also we also do say Merry Christmas.
oh, that's good. That's good. From America. We wouldn't even go there. Okay. So please, let's zoom in today. What do you have? The little tips you have for us, or how to make Christmas more memorable for your children. Last year most of us didn't celebrate it thanks to COVID. And the way things are going right now, we don't even know whether there's going to be another lockdown or not. Even though our prime minister in the UK, I can speak for the UK, says there will not be. We don't even know if it's 100%. But how can we make Christmas more memorable for our families? Because it's all about the memories. Our kids will always, always cherish those and keep them. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Oh yeah. So I hand over to you.
Okay,
Share with
sure.
us.
So how our kids can make them memorable? I think that
How no how
it's
yeah how
the
we can make Christmas more memorable, or whatever
no
tips,
more
whatever you have to
memorable.
share with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever you have to
Sure.
share with us. Go ahead.
I think that what really makes it, very memorable are the activities and the little
Mm,
things that we do to touch the lives of other people, within the family or the extended or people that we might not even know. Because I
mm,
do know that during the season also, some churches do, donate food, do
yeah.
have, an occasion to give food to the poor. And also, I do know that there are, organizations that do have food banks where they collect food and also give back to people who are really, really in need. And also
mm,
they do also share toys and sometimes money, because it's a season when, as much as we have some in the society that do have, there's also still people in society that do not
that's
have,
right.
especially in this season where, we have COVID going on, and
Mm,
sometimes it's hard for people to travel, and because of the health implications, to go see loved ones. And we do have elderly ones too that might be living in senior homes, or might be living in other places where they would really need the services of the food banks. So sometimes some of these foods are bagged, and it's we have people volunteering to be
mm,
out there, even though it's not too safe, but they still take the right precautions, and then they're out there to make sure that the food reach people who really need them during this season, because it's the only way to put a smile and a love in the hearts of
yeah,
people, to
that's
know
right.
that this
That's
is the
right.
time to share love, and let's the love of Christ be widely experienced in the life of everyone. So I think that it's one of the things that can make it the season very memorable, and also things like the lightnings, and then also they have a lot of people having small gifts
Oh
to
yeah.
go around houses and drop them, because you have some families who have that culture of going to drop food at the
Yeah.
doorstep,
Yeah,
home
that's
home
true.
prepared food at the
Mm,
doorstep of neighbors who
mm,
they know would need it during the season, because it's a time where it's on this part of the world, and in other parts like Europe, you have the weather changing, and it's snowing, and it's very cold, and
yeah.
you have people who find it difficult to come out to either shop for groceries or buy food. So you have some neighbors who want to share the love by preparing home cooked food, and dropping in at the doorstep of um, people they might know or they might not know,
Yeah.
who they
Yeah.
know might
Exactly.
really need it. And sometimes you see, when the kids are also involved in these activities, it leaves a very deep lasting effect on them, because then
Mm,
they become part of the love sharing, and it becomes part and parcel of them, and they grow up to know that sharing is one part of life that really exhibits the humanity part of you that nobody can reward, but it gives you that lasting effect on your life,
mm,
and you always feel that you really work towards a good cause. So when the kids are incorporated into the sharing of food outside to people who need it, especially those who live on the streets and are
yeah.
also homeless,
Mm,
it has a very lasting effect on the kids, and also to inculcate in them the ability, and also let them realize that when you go in a society and you give, it's an unrewarding way of knowing that you really give to a good cause. So I think that when you involve the kids in the sharing of things during Christmas, it's a very good thing to do. And also
you
the
know what?
little
Some
things
people.
like the fireworks. Mm,
Go on. You know this food sharing thing you're talking about. You don't.
mm,
Someone who's listening, you don't even have to be the one who's cooking. There's lots of shelters. There's a lot of
mm,
when you Google, when you yeah Google, there are lots of what's it called maybe charity companies. There's actually
mm,
I'll speak of one just before we finish.
mm,
The Global Word Network has got a charity. Reverend
mm,
Dr. Doreen, please, if you don't mind, write type in the name of the charity for me before we go on. I know the 18 if you're in the UK and you live around Croydon like that. So it doesn't have to be you cooking the food. You can just take your kids, find a shelter, and you find people who are actually doing this, and then just get them involved. And it is something that lasts on their mind. It never leaves. And it's something what's the word I'm looking for? You teach them as they're growing up when you're God bless you, you're dead and gone. They will still continue if Jesus does not return. So it is really a good way of teaching our kids about sharing and showing love. So yeah, sorry, go on.
And then also with things like fireworks, it's one of the things that also is, I think that is therapeutic, because when people come out, they're being able to like smell the fresh air,
Yeah.
and observe the flashes of light that goes into the air. It brings you that relief to know that, of course, it's a sign that there's something, very significant that is being celebrated.
Mm,
And I also wanted to mention that it's also a season where when kids are also able to go into places like hospitals to also share food, and maybe also give clothing and
hey,
blankets,
Kale, it's COVID.
little
It is
things that
COVID though.
people really need. Huh?
Some parent will be asking, hey, sister, in this COVID hospital, you know what? I think I'm not even
Yeah.
sure, but if there's anyone who's, a medical in the medical field here, I don't know how about the US, but I don't even know if they allow people. Because these days, even when your family member is sick, they don't really allow so many people into the hospitals anymore. So I'm not even sure if they do that anymore because of the COVID. I might be wrong.
Well, I
Somebody
think
correct
that
me.
there
In
might be
your
a
place, do you still
protocol.
do it?
There might,
Because I know you're also in the
there
medical
might
field.
Sure, there might be a protocol that will be put in place. So if it's not too safe for you to, walk in the ward and share the items, I think that either the managers or the charge nurses will take over the item, and they make sure that the patients get them, and they
Mm,
make them aware that it's this a particular organization or maybe this church that has brought in items to be shared to them. And
sure.
even sometimes, these big fast food companies, sometimes some of them bring
Yeah.
in food,
Mm, mm,
that they know that patients would really love to, have during the
mm,
season. Some of them sometimes come to donate food, like
yeah.
pizzas and like, hot meals.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
as a tradition among the family, it's a time where we also let our kids also, share. We get them cards to share in school, to give it to their friends in their various
Mm,
classes. And also, we also help them to parcel gifts for their teachers. And trust me, it always leaves that lasting joy. They come back and they're so excited that they were able to give to their friends. And
mm,
then also, one other thing that we try, it's not like a way of, blowing it, but it's finding one particular family that we could either shop, and buy items that we know they would need during this time. And then we any family
give to
that God
them.
lays on our
Yeah.
hearts, and then we
Yeah.
send it off to them. So I just think that the season is a season to really share the love of giving. It
Mm,
could come in various forms, either
mm,
helping, either volunteering to do something, to leave that lasting effect in the life of a person. And at the end of the day, it's about preaching Christ and
it's true.
letting, other people, for those who don't know Christ and for those who belong to other religions, to know that it's a season where the love of Christ doesn't know any boundary, whether white, black, whether Christian or not. The love of Christ is being brought to you for you to experience, God in that, magnificent way
That's
through
great.
the little things that
Mm.
people do.
I've got some contributions here. I just really wanted to really quickly because I can see we're running out of time.
Mhm.
So, Mama Jobrani said Christmas is the best because I asked them, what does Christmas mean to you? I mean, if you're online and you still want to share, please go ahead and continue sharing with us. Mama Jobrani said Christmas is the birth of Christ and celebrating Him. You know what? This particular thing I've always thank you, IT team. I'll keep looking. I keep forgetting to look up because they will put it on the board. So I've had this, chat with the people who goes, but where is it written in the Bible that Christ was, birthed on the 25th? I'm like, okay, so every year you're growing, but you still celebrate your birthday, on the same date. It doesn't mean that on that day you were born again, yeah, 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 like a baby. And no, yes, it's not written in the Bible anywhere that Christ was born on the 25th, but it's just the day that we Christians have decided to put down and celebrate the birth of Christ. Please allow us so in peace. Amen. Okay, so I'll keep going on. Mommy Kata said, Christmas is a time to share the love of Christ. Definitely, that's what I'll look up. That's what my twin has been saying. Okay, we'll go to the next comment. Thank you, Mami Kata. She said, yeah, when we finish all of this, please keep that one so I can remember it. But yeah, we'll go to the next hand of okay. Mami Kata wrote again, Christmas is also a time for reconciliation. That is very, 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 very important, because that's when most families come together. And half the time, by the time they are done with the Christmas, family, they always leave with quarrels. This one is fighting with this one is bickering with this. But no, it is a time to actually, if you've not been on good terms with your sister, with your brother, with your cousin, whoever, that's the best time to take a gift to them and make the peace. Mama Elizabeth said Christmas is showing love to anyone who is in need. You are right. That's definitely, definitely also true. Christ gave to us. And then Nana Frimpong, all all some Christians, all some Christian organizations do is to take from the public. We should now show Christian love to our community by showing it physically. It is sad to see some members of the community who have been seeking God's favor from January to December and still. That's what I'll say. We said my twin wife. Huh? We said my twin wife. Okay, so Nanaya from that's my husband. I'm trying to piece together what he's trying to say. But you know what? I understand what he's trying to say about the Christian organizations, and it isn't all of them. Some of them actually do give. Like our church, I know that when the lockdown came, our pastor literally advertised, he kept saying over and over that if you're in need, because people lost their jobs. So it isn't all the churches that do that. There's some genuine ones out there that don't only take, but they give as well. So he kept, announcing, let me also even advertise my church here. I'm not advertising, I'm just saying. Grace International Christian Center, and Reverend Dr. Samuel Bento is the head. He kept saying over and over and over that if you know that you've lost a job and you're finding it even hard to eat, because people was really struggling, last year when we were on the lockdown, and they do help. So it isn't all of them, but I know there's some really bad pastors out there too, and all they do is take, even when you don't have, they still want to take the last penny you have off of you. So yeah, well said, well said, well said. Okay, now 50. Our time is almost up. Our time is almost up. Thank you so much. I really pray and hope that okay, now here's some little things that I also wrote down. That while we are on the 1st of November, another thing you could do is make a budget, which is what I just spoke about. Be very careful you don't get overexcited. Mama Comforter Kind said Christmas is the time some families get together and eat together, and those who have not been seen for a long time have a long chat. That is another, good thing about Christmas, where you get time off work and you are able to come together with your family. And let's not forget this, that there's some people too that don't have anyone. You're probably in another country, like you're in the UK, you're not in Ghana, you're not in your home country. And so some people find themselves on their own. Listen, if you find yourself like that, your church family, I pray, if someone is listening to me right now and you go to church and you know people who are living on their own, this is the time. In this time, reach out to them, invite them over to your home, pray about it. Pray about it. Then invite them into your home, or even if it means cooking for them, you don't even have to bring them into your home if you're not led to do that. Go share a meal with them. Please, if you know someone, especially who's living on their own, this is the time to reach out to them and show them love, like Lorisha has been saying, because that's what Christmas is about, to show love. And while you're showing love, you're preaching Christ, because Bible says, I'm not preaching. Christ is himself is love. He doesn't only show us love, but he is love. So as you show someone love, you're showing them Christ. So God bless you. So don't forget, these are just a few tips that I wrote down that you could, put into your December. Make a budget, have a candid conversation on personal finances, set some financial goals, on your spending, saving, budget, and goals for your coming year. Don't wait till the end, like 31st, to start writing. Start praying about them. Then let God lead you. And next thing I wrote, this is another thing you can do to bring your family together. Sit down, watch Christmas movies. Now Netflix. I don't have Netflix. I don't want my kids to get so engrossed in movies. But if you've got Netflix, even if it's normal TV, there are lots of Christmas movies out there. Sit down with your family, watch movies. That's a way of you. Like last week, we spoke about a bonding. And another tip that I got as well was repurpose cards into gifts and tags. The Christmas cards that we get, half the time we just throw them away after the. Don't throw them away. Some of them, the covers are really nice. They've got really nice decorations, sometimes words on even there that you can be creative. Cut them off. You can cut them and use them as tags, and hang them with maybe a little rope on your Christmas, what's it called, presents that you're going to give to people. Be creative with them. Don't just throw them away. Well, we've spoken about make your New Year's. Now, DIY is also DIY. I wrote down DIY Christmas decorations. This is the time you sit down. Sometimes you don't always have to go and buy the gifts outside. These days, thank God, when you go on Google, this. I'm not advertising for them. I don't even know who owns it. Pinterest. When you go on there, there's lots of videos on how to do, little things with your own hand. You can get your kids involved when they're gonna go on a break soon. Get them involved on making, I remember, Lauren, do you remember when we were in school? I remember we take the A4 sheet and then we draw
The
like designs
chains.
on them or you color them. Do
And
you
you make
remember? Then we
chains.
cut
Yeah, you
them
glue
up
them. Yeah.
and then you get glue.
Then we
So
hang them in the classroom.
exactly. I remember very well. These are things you could do with your kids. That's a way of bonding. That's a way give you. There are things that I'm telling you, think is nothing, but our kids grow up, or we've been kids before, so you know what I mean. And they will always remember, oh, me and my mom and my dad, we used to make Christmas decorations. So all we had to do was just you make design on the A4 sheet, you cut them up, and then you roll them up like this, put glue on them, put another one in between. Then you have a long chain, like the ones that you buy £1, £1. You can make them on your own at home, so that's a DIY Christmas decorations. You can be creative. If your kid loves
Mhm.
drawing, get them to draw something nice and just put it on the wall, even if it means just for the Christmas. Like the volunteering, that's what you spoke about at a local pantry, shelter, soup kitchens. There are loads of them out there. I'll speak about one just before we leave. And last one I wrote was if you're someone, you've got old clothes, old shoes, old toys, bless someone. Get a kid in a what's it called, a foster, not foster home, but yeah, well, children's home, however you're led by the Spirit of
Mhm.
God. Or even we've got these what's it called, organization shops that take like old Almond Street, is it Almond Street they call them? Somebody correct me. These children hospitals and charity shops, that takes,
Mhm.
as long as it's not worn out and torn, they will take
Mhm.
them and sell them. And I really pray and hope that's what they use the money for.
They
They
do.
use it to help charities. So please,
Mhm.
this is the time. Go into your cupboard and take out the old clothes you're not wearing. I'm telling you, when you take them out, some way, somehow, while you're blessing someone, God will also cause someone to bless you. And before you realize, your cupboard will be full again with new clothes. So take the old ones out. That's a challenge I'm throwing to you this Christmas. And another one you could do, organize a cookie exchange. I know it sounds funny, but if you know a friend that loves baking, please count me out. Baking is not my thing. Okay, my daughter will bake, just not me, or maybe my friend she'll bake. If you've got a neighbor, you've got a friend, you can do, what's it called, bake. Get your kids involved, and you do exchange. So I'll bake. Oh, maybe I'll bake cakes. You bake. What's it called? What's it called?
Pies.
Rolls, pies, and just do an exchange. It's just nice, and it's gives your kids memoirs of things that you did together. So yeah,
Mhm.
but most of all, give yourself and give your time, because that is what Christmas is all about. IT team, media team, could you please put the charity for Global Web Network, and I'll speak about that, and then I'll say the last thing that I needed to tell you today, and then we'll be off. So Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Doreen Carter has got a charity, and she's the CEO of Global Word Network, the station, the beautiful station you're listening to right now. And she's got a charity in Ghana called Hand of Glory Charity. And on the 18th in the UK here, we'll be
Mhm.
feeding the homeless. I'll be there. I'll be present. We'll be feeding the homeless. So if you've got time, please reach out to her either via what's it called, Facebook. You can even reach out to me on Facebook, Lauren Mispa, or Mami Kata herself, or go on the Global Word Network page, reach out to her. And if you want to be a part of it, listen, it could be maybe just you handing out soup, hot soup, to someone who's on the street. I remember she told us the story of while they were feeding people last year. You know, last year was COVID and most people didn't want to go. Out. There was this funny thing that happened. I don't know, Laurisha, if you ever heard of it or anyone on the line now, where they said there was going to be 3 days of darkness. There was this thing really going around last year, this time last year. Because of that, I didn't go. I was like, if the darkness comes, I want to be in my house. Sorry, Reverend Dory. So I didn't go. I feel bad. But this year, on the 18th of December, we're going. If you want to be part of it, please reach out and come and be a blessing onto someone. And every little you can give to buy maybe jacket for them, buy sleeping mats, buy jacket, what's it called, gloves, socks, anything to keep them warm. Because people, and this winter, it is bitter cold. So listen, your £5, £10 will keep someone warm. And every time they are happy in their hearts, you get a blessing. And it's a seed you're planting for your children as well. So God bless you. Now I'm going to go to
Amen.
the very last thing I wanted to speak about today, and then we'll be off. So if you're someone who's struggling with, again, it's bitter cold this year. It's bitter cold. And there's this allowance that the government gives. If you don't know, then you don't know. But while I was doing research, I came across this. It says COVID came along like a thief in the night and has destabilized a lot of families, which is true. Jobs and businesses, and there has been a lot of talk about. Now it's called the winter. Can someone write it there for me? Winter fuel payment. It's called the winter fuel payment, and it only came up in 2021 because of COVID. Now it is an allowance that is given. If you just Google it, you can even call your Citizens Advice Bureau. That's even a long thing. Just go on what's it called, HMRC, and type in winter fuel payment. If you qualify for it, you get almost £300 off of your heating bills. You can also call the company that supplies you with your heating and tell them that you've heard about the winter fuel payment and you want to know if you qualify for it, because if you do, £300 might sound like it's nothing, but for a whole year, it is something. So if you're struggling with paying your heat, your what's it called, your bills, and because of that, you can't even turn your heating on. Here's something that might help you. There's another one too that is called, thank you so much, IT team. There's another one called the Warm Home Discount. Warm, and that's a scheme as well to enable people to get that one. You get £140. It's called the Warm Home Discount. That was also just established in 2021. And if you go on there, it's a scheme also from HMRC. You can get £140 of your electricity bill if you qualify for it. There's no harm in trying. If you don't, you don't. But if you do, then £140, you can keep that and even use that as your to buy your Christmas gifts for people. So that is what I wanted to share with all of us. I pray that it will be a blessing, or it would, help someone out there. So thank you so much for being a part of our discussion today. Don't forget, again, Christmas is not about just gifts, it's about Christ. So let's teach that to our children. So don't forget, Christmas means Christ is a must. You must have Christ in your life. Thank you so much, my Laurentia, for taking the time out, to be with us. I know you just came back from work and your eyes are so heavy. You should be in bed right now because it's another time in America. But thank you so much for taking the time out to be
Always
here. I want to say
welcome.
thank you to every single one that is still, tuned in, those on Facebook. I want to say thank you so much to Reverend Dr. Doreen, the CEO of Global Word Network, and the charity we just spoke about, Grace. No, not Grace Home. Grace Home is our show. It's sorry, IT team, could you put the charity name up there for me again? Sorry, it just went out of my head. Yeah, she is the CEO as well of that charity. So please, if you can be a blessing to the charity, it will be great. Again, you can see my number there, or you can reach out to Mami Kata on Facebook or Lauren Mispa on Facebook, and I'll be so glad, to receive whatever you have to give to this. It's called the Hand of Glory charity. Thank you so much. So we've come to the end of today's episode. God bless you. Have a blessed week. And don't forget, like we always say, make sure to put Christ in the center of your home, even in this Christmas time. Because if Christ is in the center of your home, we always say your center will hold. God bless you.
Bless you.
Like a child, I'm gonna trust in you. Not having all the answers to life's questions and can't see the bigger picture. I don't understand, but hey, I know some way you'll save the day. So I will keep the faith and light shine. I'm gonna trust in you. I'm gonna believe what you say and do. I'll keep holding on. Somehow you will see me through. I will trust in you. I'm gonna believe what you say and do. I'll keep holding on. Somehow you will see me through. How do you keep forgiving all my crazy ways? At times I stop believing, but your love says, hey, I'm here, I ain't going nowhere. Your pain and your fears, I'll make disappear. Child, I'm gonna trust in you. I'm gonna believe what you say and do. I'll keep holding on. I will trust in you. I'm gonna believe what you say and do. I'll keep holding on. Through my darkest hour, through the pouring rain, through the deepest tunnel, through the hurt and pain.